is organized an international e-conference. It's a daily webinar series. For today's session on the dais is Honorable Jordan Athena H. Ma'am. So I heartily welcome to you, Madam, in today's session. I welcome the Chief Organizer of an international e-conference, our ideal principal, Dr. M. Bedkar, sir. I also welcome all those dear participants. The topic for today's presentation is Paths to Pleasurable Living. As I have mentioned, today's keynote speaker, Honorable Jordan Ma'am, North Carolina, United States. Now this is very brief introduction about today's keynote speaker. Now I request you, Madam, please start your presentation on today's topic, Paths to Pleasurable Living. But kind request, give some more details or introduce from yourself and then start. You are most welcome.
Thank you. So a little bit about me. I'm Athena Hatch, and it is still early morning for me, so be a little patient. My green tea is helping me be more refreshed, but yes, it is pretty early here. So I am a U.S. Air Force veteran, and I have, since my career in the military ended, transitioned to being a holistic healer. And what I have found I'm drawn to is helping people live their most pleasurable lives. And that isn't always what we think it will look like right off the top of our head. But I really feel that it is important to teach people that we're here to have fun, we're here to do good, and you can do both at the same time. And all it takes is a little bit of work. From my research. So a brief overview of what we will be going over today. First, I want to define pleasurable living. Pleasurable living is about more than just fleeting moments of happiness. It's about cultivating a deep sense of well-being, joy, satisfaction in every aspect of our lives. It involves nurturing our body, mind, spirit, and it's important to nurture all three in order to achieve balance. A holistic approach, which is my preferred method, to pleasurable living means recognizing the interconnectedness of our physical, mental, and spiritual health. By attending all of these aspects, we can create a life that not only feels in moments, but is consistently an embodied way to live, right? And we can be the most present in our lives. So I would say the first thing I want to cover is, what does it mean to have all three balanced, and how do you train for that, right? Like, how I feel like we are taught, at least in America, to focus on physical health, then spiritual, and then mental, but they are rarely combined. And I find that that's not always the most streamlined approach, I would say, because if you think about running, for example, you're not just running, right? The biggest hassle is your mental barriers. So my approach, it helps us face the things that we may be a little bit afraid to, or that it may seem a little too difficult, right? Like if it's too much work, it's hard to view something as fun. And I think that that's where the importance of goals and the importance of the spiritual health and the insight of the overall picture to remember what you're working towards. Because it's very simple practices, and it almost feels offensive at first when you're trying to find this balance and someone mentions, why don't you try journaling with your non-dominant hand instead? You're like, that seems like a very silly approach after all the research and everything I've done. But what's not being explained is that combines your physical, mental, and spiritual. So it is training your brain and the neuroplasticity in your brain. It is helping create new neural pathways by unlocking pathways that your brain may not have known were there before. And each part of your brain holds different emotional, logical, right? We know the brain is split into two sides, same thing. But if you work to strengthen they're called like pathways, I believe. Streets is how I like to look at it. Like you're building a new grid for your brain. And so if you explore your brain, I think that everyone will be surprised at what they find and that they will truly enjoy what they find at the center of who they are. And so that's the overview of pleasurable living. The next thing I want to say is noticeable differences. So when we think of pleasure, a lot of times it is limited to physical, what feels good, right? And it's kind of ironic because when we say we feel, we typically think of our emotions, but there are two types, right? It's physical, mental. So if you think, how does my body feel today? Usually like for me, I struggle with not wanting to do much. Some days I'll feel very tired. I have young children and I just kind of want to laze around, right? And then I find that that's the opposite of what I need. And so it's learning to interpret what your body is saying, because it is a very well-built machine, but it is a well-tried machine, and evolution has changed our responses to things. So if we are stuck in fight or flight, polyvagal shutdown, we don't necessarily know what feels good to ourselves. And so the first part would be spiritual for me, is sitting with yourself and saying, what is your biggest fear? It could be very silly. It could be, I'm afraid to drive on the highway, for example, and you work towards that goal. For me, the path to pleasurable living is finding things that scare you, but that you know make you braver and that you know will benefit your life. So it's not self-destructive in the sense of like, this is bad for me, but I want to do it anyways. It's the things that you tend to not want to do that we do need to do, especially like yoga practices. For me, the number one is camel pose. I always want to avoid that pose. Every time for the past 12 years, the teacher says camel pose. I'm like, oh, I have to modify. I don't. That is my heart, right? My chest space is out of balance. And so I don't necessarily want to expose it because it will be uncomfortable. And so it's learning that there's pleasure in discomfort, and there's pleasure in accomplishing goals and accomplishing tasks or dreams or manifestations, whatever you want to call it. It is the constant moving forward to what you want your life to be. It could be tiny baby steps. It could be going outside for 15 minutes because like it's been raining here all week. So every time it's sunny, I'm making myself go outside and sit. I don't necessarily want to because it's wet and it's muggy and it's hot. But when I go inside, I notice that I feel better. So it's being able to overlook temporary discomfort for the long-term benefit of your well-being overall, like mental, physical health, all of them. They all work together. Okay, so next I want to go over some examples of these activities. A really good one would be dance. If you are feeling disembodied, if you are feeling that you are not necessarily in touch, you're not feeling joy the way that you would like to be, and we know that feeling, right? Where something makes you happy, but it doesn't necessarily sink to your chest and it doesn't spread like you want it to. That's a sign that we are a little bit too tense and our body is having a hard time processing joy, because we have to process all of our emotions. We can't block out one. So it's making sure that we are emotionally balanced in order to feel everything and to have a truly in-body experience in our lives. So the first example I gave was writing with your left hand. Okay. The next one would be something like the piano. And I'm a musician, I'm an artist, so there's plenty across the board. Sports are the same. There's whatever your area of interest is, but what I'm just trying to explain how something so daunting is proving to be so beneficial to all aspects. Okay, so the piano, it is fine motor skills. It is recognition. It's memory. It's emotional. It is having to be comfortable in a meditative state and learning to trust yourself and learning to trust your body to know what you are communicating to it. So I have been learning for about 7 months now. I love it. Vocal lessons as well, piano, my safety blanket now. But I have noticed that I will do more things with my left hand. It's very difficult. Like unloading the dishwasher, I will only use my left. And I have started viewing my body as a machine's not the correct word, but my vehicle in the way that I need to help it, because I can't expect it to magically learn how to do these new skills. It is taking the time to sit in embarrassment and to say like, why I can't write my hand with my left. I can't write my name with my left hand, right? Something very, it seems so small, but when you think about how many things are going on and how many ways you are exercising your brain, body, it's just amazing, right? So I notice I do that. I use my left hand more. I notice that I am exercising both hands. I am making sure that my body is naturally more balanced, because when I go to do this exercise, if I've overused one hand or anything like that, I'm off balance. And it teaches you to be honest with yourself, and it teaches you to have unbiased reflection, I think would be the best way to say it. And it's that meditative state where you're like, okay, this is what I want to do. How do I get there? And the pleasure is the reward. The pleasure is the reward of a hard job, of hard work done. And you see it in increments, baby steps. And then before you know it, you look back and you realize you're having fun every single day of your life. So the first suggestion I have to starting on the path to pleasurable living is finding something that you are interested in that you maybe thought in your wildest dreams. Pleasure on the mind helps with that, because you're not as cranky about things, right? You're not as inconvenienced by the steps, because you can see the good it's doing for you and what you are working towards and why. And it gives you a sense of purpose in the pleasure versus aimlessly, which I think can lead to more self-destructive behaviors, because we all have this urge for fun and joy and laughter, but we aren't necessarily taught where to find it. And it's different for everyone. So the next one will be, okay, let's talk about practical ways to please yourself. Practical ways that in a day-to-day you can say, I'm having pleasure in my life. Be it, have your favorite breakfast every day. If it's healthy, have your comfort foods. Have things that your body tells your brain and your body you are safe and you are loved, and that this environment has your best interest at heart. So having green tea, switching from espresso to green tea, you still have caffeine, but you on a larger scale see that you are not pushing yourself into overdrive, but you are constantly communicating with your body and you're maintaining that connection throughout your day. So favorite breakfast, stretch. We have a mini trampoline. It sounds so silly, but it's like one of the little trampolines. And every morning, me, my kids, and my husband, we all jump, and it's to get our blood moving. It's to get our circulation moving. Because otherwise, I just want to lay down on the couch as soon as I wake up, because it's comfortable and I've been in bed and it's warm and cozy, right? And my kids don't let me sleep. So that's definitely a part of it. But it's finding ways to counteract the stressors that you cannot control in your life. So I may not want to jump, but I'm going to laugh because it's fun and it brings up that play energy, and it reminds you not everything is so serious. There's time in your day to just look around and smile and then go back to what you're doing, but it does not throw you off schedule whatsoever to enjoy your life. In fact, I think it speeds it up because your dedication is internally renewing. I have found that I am much more patient and dedicated and forgiving because I know I have my whole life to experience this pleasure. Mine is music, art, things like that, but I have unlimited things to learn, and to know that we will never know everything, but we always have more to learn is a huge gift, because it just gives you something to look forward to. And that's what my grandma always says. Her advice is never always have something to look forward to. It could be something very small. It could be, I'm excited to drive 30 minutes to this favorite store and to go to the farmer's market. Guess what? That can get you through a really bad day because you have something good to look forward to. And it's reminding yourself that all emotions are temporary. They're a feeling. So it's to appreciate what feels good, to take what doesn't feel so good and look at it honestly and say, how can I turn this into an experience I will enjoy in my life? And that takes honest reflection. It's not a Band-Aid fix. It's sitting and feeling everything and doing activities to help balance that. So if you have rage, I think most women struggle with rage. It's just like they're just saying it's been passed down, right, through generation to generation. And you can turn rage into something very, very beautiful. You can, if you're frustrated and you want to you just have tension and you want to get it out and you don't know how and it feels very forceful. I make beads and I do it with my left hand. So I practice a skill that is equally as infuriating as my rage is. And I sit with it and I learn to let the sea balance itself out. And it always takes me about 10 minutes. And then I realize rushing is not going to help. The goal is to calm down. The goal is to be there and just focus on rolling this little ball. Why, if that is frustrating me, that's something more internally. And you can process things without actually having to rehash and bring them up and feel everything again because you're putting it into something. And then I take these beads and I make bookmarks and I give them to people when I give out books at holidays. And that turns my grief, a really terrible day, into something beautiful because I have turned it into a piece of art and I can give it to someone. I can pass it forward with a positive effect on the world. Rage can have a negative or positive effect, right? We can harness it and it can be something beautiful, but not always if we let it take over us. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. My dogs burst into my room. I'm going to get them out. I will be right back.
I think the dog wants something.
Hi, sorry. My dogs opened the door. It was supposed to be locked and they just came in, so it's fixed now. But yeah, so paths to pleasurable living, right? We all want to have fun. We all want to experience pleasure, and that makes us more motivated in our lives, and it makes us feel more in body. And I use this example a lot, but I was at a concert and I had my first in body experience, and I'm 30. And I remember all of the physical discomfort I felt. And instead of fighting it and blocking it out, I brought it in to the moment and I felt it. And I was like, okay, it's not unbearable. It's just uncomfortable. My feet hurt because I've been standing for 12 hours. I've been at a festival all day. The rain is kind of cold, but I find now when I look back on that memory, I can feel it. I can feel my feet and I can feel the rain, and I can put myself back to that powerful moment because I was so there and so present. And instead of worrying about even perspectives of how does it look? We're all dancing in the rain, but there are 50,000 of us, right? And so it's just being where you are and saying yes to the universe and allowing pleasure to find you. And trusting yourself to say, you can feel good and you can be responsible. No one says we have to grow up and be serious adults all the time. You can be both, and that's very important. And I feel I wasn't taught that, and I'm learning it through my own experiences. And I really want to pass that on to people because it's huge. Think about kids, for example. If all you think about is how serious they need to be prepared for adult life, they need, right? You have this list of tasks. Wouldn't it be great if you could enjoy those tasks and you could have fun while doing them? Yes, you will get frustrated, of course, right? Things will always frustrate us, but to say this is a moment and that is also fleeting, and to look at the overall feeling and to find that you love your life and you love the majority of your days. Some days are going to be bad, but to be able to focus on your own resilience instead of factors you cannot control. That is my main takeaway from pleasurable living, is I don't want my day to be ruined. So I'm going to focus on all the things that make me feel good and that help me accomplish everything I need to do, because that feels good, right? When you check off your to-do list and you've done everything and you've earned that relaxation. It all goes hand in hand. That is also pleasurable because you feel comfortably exhausted. Your body wants to be exhausted. Your brain wants to be tired. You have this energy and it's about putting it to good use. And luckily for us, that typically, when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, right? And that's the goal of pleasurable living, is to realize that this is all about play. It is all about you tapping into yourself and welcoming yourself and creating a life that helps you flourish and grow. Because then if you're a positive light, it automatically spreads. Authority is not always the correct way to teach. A lot of the times it's by example and showing that we can relax and that we're human and it's okay to make mistakes, but it's also okay to self-correct and to receive guidance in that sense as well, from internal and external, right? Let's see, what's next? Okay, so I have, on my little write-up, I want to go over daily routines that I believe can really help with this. And they're all it sounds time consuming, but it's truly not once it's a part of your day-to-day. So first one is I brush my teeth with my non-dominant hand. That's been proven to actually cure most depression and anxiety, because it is forcing your brain to work together as soon as you wake up, and the brain waves are syncing up the way they're supposed to. So you do everything non-dominant. Just do the difficult way of things, and you'll find you actually have a good day most of the time. My husband likes to say, when the universe is trying you, it's actually just trying to make you laugh. And I think that that's very important perspective to have. If bad things happen, just laugh. It's okay. Everyone gets embarrassed. Just be able to laugh. So brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand, skincare as soon as you wake up, chugging a quart of water, as much as you can. I mean, I try to do a quart, but I refer to it as an internal shower. I read it somewhere and it changed my perspective, because it refreshes if you need to refresh the outside of your body, so do your organs. And so the first thing you do is give your internal organs a shower by chugging water. And you'll find that your tea tastes better. The caffeine doesn't make you feel as grouchy, because your body and your joints are more lubricated and you're more able to move, I would say. I don't know, it just has a huge benefit. And then I always hug my kids every morning and I ask them, did you have any good dreams? And most of the time they're like, no, I don't know. I'm like, I don't think I dreamed either. But talking about every aspect of your life with your family helps. Just little things like, oh, I had the funniest dream. I did, and sharing these what would have been private moments, because you may feel like, well, that's silly. Maybe people won't find it funny. It doesn't matter. Do you find it funny? Then as long as you make yourself laugh, it's okay. So it's sharing something positive. It's looking at the weather and finding something positive about it. Just being open to having a good day. I wish I had a more simple way to explain it, but I feel or a more definitive way, but it's truly opening your heart up to being able to just experience all of the things that come your way, and knowing that those are fleeting and that your main goal is to feel good. And then you're just going to be a positive person to be around. So it's creating a morning routine, meditating 10 minutes a day, just sitting with yourself for 10 minutes. It can be tricky, right? But it doesn't have to be a guided meditation. It can be just sitting there and taking deep breaths. The do nothing meditation tends to work great for me some days. Exercise, it's important to know that even though it doesn't necessarily feel good, it is important. It is very important that we have to do these steps to take care of ourselves. I'm in the process of quitting smoking, actually, and I'd never thought that I would be able to do that. I started when I was 15, and I'm transforming that process by looking at what I'm looking forward to. Instead of looking at the past, it's looking towards future pleasure. Like, I'm looking forward to being the fastest person to hike a mountain, right? Because my lungs will be healthier. And it's all of these things that seem kind of unimportant until you realize how much you think about them. The little things that are subconsciously holding you back, it's important to weed those out. And the more pleasure you find, the less scary they are, because you find that fear is false evidence appearing as real, right? I'm sure we've all heard fear described that way, but if you can let that sink in, like, this isn't real. I would feel better. I'm going to feel better. So I need to go ahead and do it. And it's holding yourself responsible while enjoying your body, because it's respecting your body, right? It's respecting who you are, your body and your spirit and your brain. They're different components, and you're trying to build a blended family. Very similar. If you have anxiety, but your body doesn't, like, it can feel very confusing when your world looks calm, but your brain is telling you. So you want to find this balance between everything. And then you feel good, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you get a lot done. And we've been taught to be afraid of pleasure. And I think it's actually the most important part of our human experience. Otherwise, we're just here to work. And that's not very entertaining, right? No wonder we lack motivation when we think of yourselves as a machine in that way, but think of your body as a vehicle instead. You're a vehicle for your own unique experience. I'm going to go over my outline. Okay. So the main takeaway for today, what I really want to stress is it is so important to train your body, your brain, and to do analytical thinking, to do things that when your brain kind of hurts, just try it. We can learn at any age. There is no age limit on when we can learn new habits, right? And there new outlooks and things like that. We can always learn, and that is huge. My mother always stressed to me, don't ever stop learning. If you're out of school, keep reading. It does not matter as long as you learn, you intake positive information every day. And I now know that on like a very layman's terms, right? She had found that exercising your brain was the key to mental health, and learning to give your brain like, hey, you're doing a great job. Look at you. You figured out that problem. And you'll find that stress doesn't bother you because your brain can function in unison. All the different parts, the amygdala is not going to take over and tell you that you are in panic. You're going to have your logic, and things are going to go more smoothly. And you're probably not going to notice things that stressed you out before because you know that you were equipped to handle them. And so pleasure is very important. And I think that we need to accept pleasure and accept relaxing and work-life balance, and knowing that fun is actually the key to mental health, is being who you are and honoring that, and having a good laugh every day. That does wonders. So it's all about having fun and finding what you want to do, what your positive benefit on the world, what you want that to be, and your spirit will guide you there. You don't have to know. That's probably the other thing I want to say. You don't have to know. Your body and your soul and your mind will tell you while doing this work. You will find yourself on a path that feels like coming home, even though you know that you have never experienced this before, but it does because your soul has. And you are finally in balance and in body. Your soul is in your body and you are living your life. Yeah, I think I would, if that's good with everyone, I would like to open it up to questions. It's much easier to teach about it in a conversational. I do remember. I'm trying to think of a song. I've been practicing Happy Birthday, and I don't want to sound like Marilyn Monroe. So that's probably not. I don't know. Let me see. Let me answer a couple questions, and I'll think about it. It's very intimate to sing in front of people.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful presentation on the topic paths to pleasurable life living. I think, dear participants, we need to discipline our mind and sense.
Yes.
Live a balanced life, eat right, exercise regularly, sleep on time, wake on time, then
Yes.
peace in our relationship in the families. Now, these are the lessons we learned in our life. Everyone should learn in our life. Then you will be live the happy life. And ma'am have presented very nice lecture topic here. So thank you so much. Now it's open for discussion. Request to you all, please discuss with keynote speaker, dear participants.
Good evening, Athena ma'am, and good evening, all participants. Thank you, Honorable Principal Dr. M.M. Bedkar sir, Prashant Ugade sir, Dr. Prakash Karad sir, and all our organizing committee members. Thank you so much, ma'am. You have made very wonderful and excellent presentation. This topic is very good. Your lecture, I sure that your lecture is very beneficial and fruitful to all participants. Your lecture is very informative, knowledgeable, and excellent or interactive session. I have one question, ma'am. Question is simple. What is the best path to happiness?
The best part to happiness? Happiness is wonderful. I think it's being able to look back. I love looking back at happy memories, right? Because I don't know, happiness feels overwhelming at times. And so being able to increase my emotional bandwidth to be able to feel happiness, that is my biggest blessing I have experienced so far, because I definitely rejected emotion at all in the past. And now being able to embrace feeling good, it feels like a gift. It feels like a whole new outlook on life, I would say. Does that answer your question?
I think that your explanation is very wonderful and excellent. Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you, research chief organizer and resource person. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Kendra sir. Now I would like to answer your question that everyone in the life just to get lock the room and get laughed loudly for 1 hour. Then you will be happy in the life. I think this is the solution of happy life from my side. So thank you for your question. Then I request again other participants for your queries.
That's a good answer. I like that answer. Did you know if you laugh,
am I correct? Am I correct, ma'am? Athena, ma'am, am I correct?
I think so, yeah.
Close the room and just get laugh for 1 hour or 2 hours. Then you will be happy. Live the happy life. Yes.
I make my daughters fake laugh with me. So if you pretend, if you're like, ha, 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 within 5 minutes, you will be laughing for real, because it's just your body is like, oh, good, we have this outlet to experience joy. And it stops most meltdown. It stops most tears.
Sham Suresh Giri sir would like to ask, please.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm very happy here because for your valuable guidance. And now this moment, I'm very happy to see all happy faces now. So I'm getting pleasure. So your guidance is very nice. My question is, India is a motherland of all types of meditation. You know, the Lord Buddha and here some Brahma Kumari are working, and they are suggesting many paths to all the world. What are the permanent source for happiness? So I have completed a 10 days meditation course that is called as Vipassana, and after 10 days, really I feel very happy and most pleasurable, because there is there are some conditions: no cell phone for 10 days, no reading for 10 days, no speaking for 10 days, and no thinking for 10 days. So between 10 days, if we follow this path and do the Vipassana, the old meditation therapy of ancient India, that is invented by Lord Buddha. So you repeated the word meditation, so I remember the most valuable thing in India that Lord Buddha gives us, that is meditation. So I think meditation is a powerful point that is give us permanent pleasure. Okay, my question is, what ways you will suggest for poor people for happy life or pleasure?
Could you repeat your question one more time? I'm sorry. It cut
In the
out.
world, there are many in the world there are many poor people. What ways you will suggest for them for pleasure?
I mean, ma'am, in what way you are suggesting to the poor people that they should get happy every day? In what
Yes.
way? Yes, please.
Yes, I'm thinking about it. Give me 1 second. I'm thinking about it. My computer, so it doesn't die. I think for me, my suggestion would be meditation, like you said. I find that the things that bring me the most joy are free. It's going outside, and we like to. So here, I don't know if in India this is a saying, but in America it's touch grass. So if you get stuck inside for too long, they'll say go touch some grass, go touch nature, because anyway.
Aditya Prakash, sir. Please ask, sir.
So, yes, I think it is. Most things that bring you joy are free, and I'm learning that lesson. So it's going outside, it's meditating, it's looking at the world. The natural world, I find, brings me more joy than anything I've purchased, if that makes sense. So, like, especially being in a capitalistic society, people really, really focus on spending money here, right? And like keeping up with the Joneses and having things. But that's not what brings me joy. And I think that I don't know. I wish that wasn't a problem for anyone. And as someone who has struggled very much in the past, it's the same things that brought me joy. I always worried about if I had enough food, then that bring me joy now. It's being with my family, it's being outside. I honestly, that's my big one, is being outside, because I feel like nature is a source of, so like you can give your energy to nature. If you're feeling grief, you can go actually touch a tree and it will absorb that energy and it processes things and it like gets rid of toxins that way, right? So I don't think money has very much to do with happiness. It does have a lot to do with safety and accommodations and things like that. But true happiness, I don't believe it has a huge role in it. I think it's internal and mindset. I think anyone can be happy, and that can lead to a complete turnaround in your life as well. It can change to hope versus despair. Does that answer? Is that?
Thank you, ma'am.
Aditya Prakash. Aditya Prakash, sir. I think by mistake it has raised. Thank you, Devdas Kendre sir, Shyam Suresh Giri sir, for your nice questions, and madam, you have answered it. Now I request the chief organizer of an international conference, Honorable Dr. M. Bedkar sir, to round out the session. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you, Prashant sir. And today's resource person, Jordan Athena ma'am. All the participants joined here, including Kendre sir, Prakash sir, Shyam Suresh sir, and all those who are joined here, Smita Giri madam. Today we have listened about her the pressure principle. Second time he is appeared here as a guest and invited, and she accepted our invitation with a pleasure, and within one message she accepted the invitation and cooperated us to fill the gap of today. It was scheduled a few days later, but we requested her and she accepted our invitation. She is holistic path practitioner specially, and she is recognizing the importance of holistic well-being in today's world. She launched her own holistic practitioners platform through the through heal.me, and she offer a range of holistic services including yoga, instructions, cooking, all this Reiki healing and chakra balancing. As Vipassana, our Suresh sir was saying that Indian type of meditation Vipassana, and this chakra is the Indian type of word which is you are using. So she have pursued your status of spiritual life coach as well as art therapy counselor, and being a trauma informed in all practices. You have created a safe space for healing, empowerment, and self discovery. She is now working with new exciting new ventures, preparing to launch Vibe Guide, and this platform visionary will be creator such holistic well-being, enthusiastic, and herbal remedies, and energy healing, and transformative power, self-love, enhanced to life. From last two events we are listening you, mostly you are happy and with smiling face. Also you are enjoying your daily yoga practicing, meditation, and with a joy all these practices you are creating job in your life, and also delivering a talk with our request. So thank you for you. This time you have not sung any song for us, but next time we definitely remind you to prepare yourself for a song. It's very best experience to listen you always. Thank you, and thank you again to you, ma'am.
Thank you. At least you know I'll come back to sing, right? That means at least one more presentation.
Yeah, yes, it's assured by you. We will wait for that, and just wait for formal vote of thanks from Prashant Ughade sir. Or Kendra sir, do you want to express vote of thanks? Anyone from both of you? Today Prashant sir will deliver. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Now it's a time to go to wind up the session. Sri Kumaraswamy Mahavidyalaya Ausa, District Latur in Maharashtra State. As we know, all dear participants who are organizing an international conference every day, we come with new topic, with new speakers. And the topic for today's presentation was very sincere and very clear that everyone's related to the life, that paths to pleasurable living, which have been explained by today's keynote speaker, Honorable Athena Hatch ma'am. She covered all the aspects regarding the happy life, the paths to the pleasurable life, different routes towards the happy life, then multiple paths. See how explained in her lecture how to live a happy life, pleasurable life. Also give some examples from her familiar life, and all the participants she has given very meaningful lesson to everyone to learn in your life. So thank you so much, ma'am. You have paid your valuable time to the series, accepted our invitation and joined on time and continuously talk for 45 minutes. So we are very happy to listen you more and more time. So thank you. A second time you came here and gone through the wonderful lecture. Thank you so much. I thank the
you.
Chief Organizer of our International Lead Conference, Honorable Dr. M. Ambedkar sir. Especially thanks Devidas Kendre sir, Sham Suresh Giri sir, Aditya Prakash sir for nicely discussed with the keynote speaker. And I should not forget all those dear attendees. Anil Banpukar sir, Athena Devidas Kendre sir, Suresh Khan sir, Anuradha ma'am, Mamta ma'am, Dr. Vivek sir, Dr. Uday sir, Manish Shankar sir, then Nilesh sir, then Pandurang sir, then Manimala, R.K. Raja, Rohini ma'am, and all those, Sangeeta ma'am, you have joined the session today. Every day you join, and you people are joined to the session, so we are moving ahead with your cooperation. So thanks a lot from the bottom of heart to you all. Now I request please fill the feedback link which is given in the chat box. So kind permission of the chief organizer, I declare today's session is over. Thank you so much once again to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. One thing noted from your appearance that your nose ring and the ear ring, this is the most popular in India. So California is also same with Indian women.
Well, and I have these as well. So yeah, this is my favorite. It's a double. It makes me feel so brave every day.
It's like an Indian woman. Okay.
Thank you. It was lovely to be back. I'm honored.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.